Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 16 of All the Mods 3 Expert Mode. And what has happened here? I've done a bad thing apparently. I'm not quite sure what it was, but it appears I've made a mess. And the mess has spread to the edges of loaded chunks, and my base is more or less destroyed. Thanks, Thaumcraft. I really enjoy using mods that do this. Yeah, I have no clue how I pulled this off. If I had to guess, you know what, maybe signs of my failure are still to be found. I left some Essentia in the Olympics, thinking that, I'll just clean it up next time I need to use the Olympic. And I suspect what happened was that that Essentia left in Olympics actually slowly leaks into the world and in the form of flux. So yeah, thanks, Thaumcraft. Time to fix this. Ah, would you look at that? Good as new. Perhaps somewhat obviously I didn't actually, break and replace everything. I just loaded it back up. For instance, if I were to have to remake the smeltery without having a smeltery first, I would have to start by making the porcelain, whatchamacallit, the porcelain melter and then melt grout and yada yada yada. So that would have been a royal pain in the butt. So yeah, I perhaps you could say I cheated and loaded it back up. But here we are in our not messed up world. So going back to what I had planned on doing today before I logged into a whole lot of purple, let's set up our blood altar. Now this backup was made near the very tail end of last episode, so I had to remake my sentient sword and a few other things. But hey, it was like 15-20 minutes of work instead of what likely would have been, multiple hours to clean up the mess. But I have learned a valuable lesson about what not to do with Thaumcraft. Alright, anyways, for blood magic, I do need a fair bit of space. Where to put it? I guess I could level out some more terrain somewhere. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I'm thinking I'll keep my distance from Thaumcraft area just in case I accidentally blow something up again. To help with landscaping, I'm thinking about making the destruction gadget. However, it requires a little bit of empower. The destruction gadget will make it much easier to, I'm thinking maybe like that hill over there, we'll get rid of it, or maybe one of these hills over here. Anyways, empower be empowering. If nothing else, this quarry here is a good source of dirt to use for filling in terrain with. Now that I obviously don't need the stuff that our farm here used to produce anymore, I can just build over it. Alright, I'm thinking I'll build the blood altar over here. You see all this grass or dirt, that's probably areas I filled in where grass just hasn't spread to yet. Made the destruction gadget, and then I ended up filling terrain, which is decidedly not what the destruction gadget's good for. So I'm going to use it to delete some stuff, just so I feel like I didn't waste it. Oh, now I have to clean up the water. Way to go, Jimmy. You've made another mess. Theme of the day. As usual, whenever I start doing blood magic, I lay out the entire altar just to make sure I don't, build something else in this space that the altar will eventually take up. So, there's the entire layout. All the, what did I make this out of? Endstone bricks are things that have to be replaced with something else eventually. Mostly runes, but some of them are like these various capstones. The altar is there in the middle, and I think we're ready to get started. So, where does the quest book take us? Let's see, tier 3 blood magic. The sacrificial dagger. That would seem like a good way to start. So the sacrificial dagger lets us prick our own finger to put blood in the blood altar. And the first little bit of blood you put in here actually gets drained away automatically. It's a bit of a hidden mechanic, doesn't really matter. Prick yourself a few times, put blood in there. Now, we need, since we're gonna, at least for now, be putting our own blood in there, we need ways to heal. I wondered, does our mob farm produce hearts, and are hearts eatable in this version, or in this pack? Mob farm hearts. Alright, yes to question number 1. We have plenty of them. And they do appear to be edible. Alright, that'll probably be our way of healing then. Because I think it's faster to eat hearts than it is to eat food to heal. Second, do we have a gluttony charm? We do not. Oh well. Normally gluttony charms let you instantly eat I forget what mod it comes from, but apparently it's not in this pack. All right, so our plan will be, we prick ourselves 10-ish times, then we eat 2 hearts, and then we repeat. That's how we'll generate our blood for now. Nice. So now we have to make blank slates. These are tier 1 slates, and they're apparently made from, is it specifically chiseled living wood brick? That's a little annoying. Takes 1,000 LP to do so. The basic altar holds 10,000, I believe. Is there a way to make it show that? Whatever. Before I get too deep into blood magic, I had someone tell me that there's like glowy water up in these snow mountains that heals you. I feel like I've been debated here. I don't see glowy water. At this point, we're going to need a lot of living stone to commence down blood magic because, the slates are made of it. So it might be time to automate our pure daisies. So far, I've just been manually coming here and placing the seared stone. But, whoops, none left. I have a couple stacks in here. But I think, it's time that we can set up some auto placers, auto breakers to, automatically place and break the blocks. I wanted to make some more creosote oil, or rather some more treated wood planks, because that's what's used for living wood. But I apparently can't get my creosote oil out of the tank. Like the jerry can, it was mostly full, but now I can't get any more fluid out of it. The reservoir, no matter what mode it's on, whether I'm shift clicking or not, doesn't seem to want to pull from it. These tanks suck. Thankfully, with the advent of steel, we can make fluid tanks now. And I wonder, can I make the pressurized variant? Is it just made of dark steel? Dark steel and any hardened glass. Alright, so I should have enough dark steel to make this. This just holds more. Oh, don't have much hardened glass left. Alright, so these tanks are so much better. What they can do is configure IO pull. What I'll do for now is I'll just fill from the creosote, this big tank, into here, because this big tank still holds more. I think this holds 32 buckets. I don't know why the two things have such different UIs. Why can't you tell me how much fluid is in this tank as well? The one probe. Anyways, this tank I can actually empty with tools. Wait, now it works. What's it doing? Is it emptying the tank? Oh, it's emptying. I don't want it to empty. I want it to fill. Alright, whatever. I can craft from like this too. You can empty out, reservoirs or jerry cans to make treated wood. I'm going with a very simplistic design, I suppose you could call it, for this system here. One drawer each holding the input products. They are round robin with item conduits into a bunch of auto placers that are just always on. Basically they're in deactivation mode without being supplied a redstone signal. And then all we need are a set of auto breakers that will trigger once every minute to, I guess a little bit over a minute probably, just so there's a little bit of room for, margin for error to harvest it. And now, just like everything else in our base, it's big, it's blocky, and it's ugly. But it should work anyways. When this timer counts down, I do like the integration between the one probe and RF tools here. I get to see how long is left on the timer. It's set to 1300 ticks, which is, 65 seconds, I believe? Which is a little bit longer than it takes to transform, but that means that there will be time for the auto placers to respond and place their new blocks, or to account for lag or whatever. So, pretty soon, when this counts down, any second now, we should see these break. That clearly didn't happen. I'm not actually sure if it's powering this piece of redstone. I didn't see it blink. Alright, change it up slightly so that the timer actually ticks the redstone. Whoopsies. I also built it in a little silly way. I need these repeaters here so that the lever won't accidentally power these breakers. It'll cause them to break when powered. Anyways, in 30-ish seconds, we should be able to see it harvest. It's actually run a few times already, so I know it will work, but shh, spoilers. Alright, we just heard the blocks transform, and they all get picked up. Living rock here, living wood here, and then I just need to extract it all from the top and sort it somewhere, probably into a couple crates. Neat. And we're done. At least done enough for now. It's not fully automated because I still have to manually supply our input drawers with stuff. But that's stuff I'm mostly batch crafting here. So we can see we are melting seared stone and pouring it into both blocks and ingots. I'll have a lot of ingots. Just to speed up the process a little bit. And then the creating whatever living wood is pretty easy, or not living wood, what's this called? Creosote wood, treated wood is, I just have to manually move some creosote over to this table, but whatever. This will mean at least I'm not manually doing, 16 pieces at a time, which is a marked improvement. Aren't there only 20? Shouldn't it? Oh no, it is multiples of. Oh, wait a second. I have to extract off the corners too, don't I? Huh. Just goes to show you even that the simplest of systems can give you trouble if you don't think about what you're doing. All right, so changes I made. I now run redstone along the outside here so that you can power the breakers weakly instead of directly, which is fine. And then I run item conduits on top. I would run redstone conduits, except we can't make this redstone alloy yet, at least as far as I can tell. The ingots have to be made. Let's see, we can't alloy the molten form. At least not in a smeltery, and then it can't be made in a arc furnace either. We need either the nuclear craft furnaces or the alloy smelter, neither of which we have yet. So yeah, no redstone conduits, so we can't run them in the same space as item conduits. I suppose I could have run thermal item ducts allow you to run redstone along them, don't they? Whatever, I didn't do that. What's done is done. When placing items into the blood altar with automation, you typically want to only put in one item at a time. It'll accept, up to a full stack, but it tries to craft them all at once if you do that. And at least at this stage, we don't produce enough blood for that to be reasonable. So transfer filter, single item. The transfer node here has the added advantage of it's redstone sensitive, so you can just turn it off with the redstone signal when the blood level gets too low. Historically, I've always done the vanilla redstone way of measuring its fullness with the comparator, but there's an easier way that I've always just been ignoring, and that is the liquid monitor. So does it take power? Doesn't look like it. Let's see. So I want a redstone signal when the blood altar has less than, I don't know, let's say 50% blood. That'll mean that when it has less than 50% blood in it, it won't, or it'll power the transfer pipe, which will cause the items to not be sent. So right now, if I put some items in there, I think it's below 50%, at least at a glance, that appears to be the case. It's not just straight living rock either, right? It's like, I have to chisel it into something. Chiseled living, I can either, I can't even chisel it, I just have to craft it twice. All right, whatever, no big deal. So this goes in here. And you see no items are coming into the blood altar because it's less than 50% full. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Yeah, this is powered. All right, so if I take my sacrificial dagger, prick myself a little bit, it's now more than 50% full, you see an item flows in. Huzzah! And only a single item. When it transforms, then I have to configure this output, which I have a filter on. So basically, if you don't filter it, it'll extract the item you put in. So you have to filter it, and blank slates get filtered to there. So what I can do is I can fill my altar up to full, preferably without accidentally killing myself. Eat hearts to top up. And then it'll craft, a number of slates back to back until the altar is less than half full. For now, because I'm only crafting blank slates, I can even set this lower, and it'll, since I bumped it down to 20%, it now will craft until there's only 20% blood in the altar. It takes 1,000 or 10% of the altar to craft, so you want to leave the threshold, above that. Basically, if you put in an item when there's not enough blood, it works kind of like I think like Tech machines or whatever, where it'll progress forward while there's blood, and then it'll progress backwards while there's not enough. Anyways, that's 6 pieces of blank slates, which is one quest complete. Next, it wants us to make the tier 2 blood altar. I can do that. But I think I first want to actually make the blood orb. The tier 1 blood orb or weak blood orb is a diamond and 2,000 blood. I can do that. I guess I also need a way to shut this off manually, don't I? That's easy enough. If I just slap a lever, can I put it directly on this? No. Alright, if I put the lever here, that should turn that off. And now even if I prick myself, we can see that that there's no items being sent in. So I want to manually put a diamond in. And this should make a blood orb. The blood orb is like well, it's two things. First, it's a crafting ingredient, and second, it's a way for you to fill your life network, which is kind of like a battery, I guess. It's a battery that's linked to you. So I should also sleep through the night so I don't get ambushed by mobs here while I just happen to have no health when poking myself, huh? Anyways, this is taking a little bit. How long does this take? 2,000 at 2 a tick. 1,000 ticks or 50 seconds? Alright, well, I'll be back when it's done. There you go, blood orb's done. So you take it out, when you right click it, it binds it to you, and that means that any blood that gets put into the blood orb, like when you put it in the altar, it fills with the altar's blood, is sent to your life network. Or LP network, life point network, I think is what it stands for. Anyways, we don't need much for now. What I wanted this for was to craft the imperfect ritual stone. There we go. And then I need a lapis block. This is for perhaps my most commonly used blood magic ritual, and that is the one that makes it nighttime. So it's, you know, the opposite of the bed. It's very useful when you're doing astral sorcery, because astral sorcery typically requires nighttime. So there's a bunch of, or maybe not a bunch, there's a handful of imperfect rituals you can do. It depends on what block you put on top of it, but haha, nighttime. And now if I wanted to, you know, teleport over to our astral sorcery area here, we have starlight power available to us that we can craft. Now that I'm poking myself a lot, remember earlier when I decided to unlock spectral energy instead of the environmental controller? Regretting that decision. I could, if I had the environmental controller, I could make the regen one and give myself regen, which obviously just stacks on top of the hearts, but oh well. To make the tier 2 blood altar, I need at least 16 blank slates, so here I am pricking myself. Bunch of pokes and then eat some hearts. At least I have hearts. This would be way too difficult and slow without them. Upgrading to the tier 2 altar should be just as simple as replacing this end stone with 8 blank runes. Blank runes have no effect aside from upgrading your altar tier, but later they can be upgraded to runes that actually do have an effect, like give you more blood when you poke yourself. Cool. So I guess I can't check it without making a divination sigil, so I may as well make that. See what that entails. Arcane ashes, and that's really it. Alright. The arcane ashes are used to make most of the sigils in blood magic, I think. So what does I need? Redstone and a blank slate. Basically, you just click them all on the thing, and after a couple seconds, it does a cool animation and spits out a thing. The divination sigil lets you see the status of a couple things. First of all, it lets you see the amount of essence in your life network. So we have 582. You use this for various things like alchemy crafting and doing this. So right now we have 582, 482. Haha. But you can also, I think if you click it on an altar, it'll show you the state, or if you just hover it over an altar, see in the upper left there where it's kind of covered by my jetpack UI, but it says there's a 2 there under the word engine. So it's a tier 2 altar, and it shows you the amount of blood in it as well as the maximum blood. Oh, it says in the wait, has it always said that? Oh, okay, no. In the one probe readout, I guess only while you're holding the divination sigil does it read out the tier. Okay. Well, anyways, now we have the tier 2 altar. We can craft the next tier of slates. So to do so, I need to take the blank slate off this because, as I assume, let me double check. Typically, the slates are crafted. Whoopsies. Oh, right. I forgot that Ender Isle filters are good like this. You don't need an actual item to put them on the filter. So yeah, the blank slate, if you leave it in the altar for longer, it turns into a reinforced slate. 5 LP a tick. Is that the same rate? Wow, it's slower. Oh boy, these take a long time to craft. 500 ticks for reinforced slates? Yikes. Does it get even slower? No? Alright, whatever then. Anyways, what we have to do then, because it now to make a reinforced slate costs 3000 LP, we want this set above 30%. So let's turn this off. Let autofill happen. And then put some more blood in here. Alright, so we'll see that after a couple seconds, that slate turns into a blank slate. And then after a couple more seconds, more particles start happening. That means it's crafting again. Desired divination sigil. You see that the amount of blood is decreasing. I think there's a higher tier sigil, the seer sigil, that'll let you see the exact crafting state. But pretty soon it should turn into a reinforced slate. There we go. Gets pulled out, and we have our first one. The quest requires 4, so more poking. Our 4 reinforced slates are done, so that should be quest complete. There's another coin. I wonder, where's my 4th coin from? Is it here? Because you get 4 coins per era, right? I can find where that 4th coin is. Maybe if it's close, I might do it just to get the regen table. Oh, it's not at the end. Okay, I guess we're not getting the environment controller until the end of the tier. All right, whatever. So, what is this? Luminescence. Wait, there's 2 different recipes. How does this work? Can you click it with the orb? Blood required, tier required. I've never seen this blood transmutation mechanic before. Whatever, I'll deal with that later. Oh, wait, it tells you right here, huh? Okay, cool. So it's just a handheld transmutation thing. I guess 2 ways to make it. This way is not automated. This way can be automated, but it takes a lot of LP to do so. Cute. All right. Anyways, before we get onto that, I want to deal with a problem where stabbing myself to put blood in the altar kind of sucks, honestly. I have to stab myself, among other things. The questbook offers one alternative, which is to make the tranquility system. This makes it so that when you stab yourself, you take 90% of your life and get a little bonus LP out of it. So right now, I think I get when this is done, I'll see exactly how much I get. I suspect it's like 200 LP per poke. So let's see. In the altar, there's 1918. 2118. Yeah, so I get 200 LP per heart, which is not great. If you make the tranquility system, you can probably get that up to, depending on the tier of your altar, I don't know, maybe up to double, triple-ish, which is still not all that great. Instead, I want to sacrifice mobs, because mobs have no soul, I think. So, to do so, we need a sacrificial dagger, or rather a dagger of sacrifice. The sacrificial dagger is for poking yourself. So you take an iron sword. I have literally 0 pieces of iron left. Huh? Mob farm, save me. Thankfully, zombies drop iron every now and then. I have 22 pieces of iron to my name. All right, we have to do something about this soon. I know that there is the Feranium seed from not Mystical Agriculture, Agricraft. I don't know. I should make it. It's not even all that bad. I hate Agricraft so much. It's so grindy and boring. But so is coin mining all the time. Oh well. Anyways, I dipped the sword in there. In a couple seconds, it'll turn into a sacrificial or sword. sacrifice something. Dagger sacrifice. With that, I can, if I put any mobs on top of the blood altar, I can kill them for life essence. That brings me to the next problem, though. We have to actually get mobs exactly on top of the blood altar. How are we going to do that? Well, some type of spawner. So looking at our spawner options, RF tool spawner kind of sucks because you have to provide it with like 17 different inputs. Powered spawner, I love it, except we can't make it yet because we can't, make these machine frames. We could just carry a vanilla mob spawner. In fact, I think I intentionally left one right over here. I haven't even checked what type it is. But there's a mob spawner here, I think. Oh, just kidding. There was a mob spawner here. But I'm not terribly fond of any of those options. My favorite is actually the Disturbed mob spawner because it doesn't take any power, can easily be turned on and off, and you can speed it up with the extra utility speed upgrades. This one is already set to spawn blazes, which, I mean, I guess it'll work. Worst case, I'll go find like a zombie spawner or a skeleton spawner or something. Do we have... No, we don't have anything that'll seek out spawners for us. That's a shame. I could nab the silverfish spawner, I guess, from our stronghold. In any event, I'm going to set up a system where, the blazes spawn out of the spawner and we'll push them right here, right in front of us, where we can poke them with our dagger for their blood. And though I don't think blazes have blood. Here's the spawning room almost completed. We see our mob spawner in here. I'll put speed upgrades and stuff in it later. It's turned on via a wireless receiver. The other end of it's down here. I'm planning on putting one of the like the see-through walk-through, like the ineffable glass doors there. So let's make that next. I just had to resonate some of this. And we have to make moonstones now, so we get to play with unstable ingots. Alright, here goes. It's pretty easy to not accidentally explode yourself. That was pretty easy. Anyways, there's some ineffable glass. Because we're not using zombies or anything, they're not afraid of sunlight, then it's fine that this lets light through. Makes it slightly easier to see inside. Alright, so, oh right, I forgot. Conveyor belts to push all the mobs into the center. So the idea is they will fall down here and then eventually end up right in this spot. I'm going to need to make a few more belts, but conveyor belts are also, well, I'm going to say they're cheap and easy, but I am now out of redstone. To deal with our redstone shortage, there's a couple ways to grow it, I think. Right, yeah. Either red seeds, or which are like the good version, or the bad version is red orchids, but red orchids are easier. So to grow that, I need silk touch. Need a few more levels. And then I just need to go silk touch a few ores. And I'll just put this on a vanilla pickaxe, I guess. I should not have used a diamond pickaxe. It has one durability. It's good for, basically only for crafting. But one durability means you get 2 uses out of it, so I have 2 pieces of redstone ore. Good enough for now. The rest of the vein also gave me 47 pieces. I'll mine more later, but for now let's get this project finished. So red orchids planted on redstone ore just grow into, well, redstone. I guess I can probably dedicate a slot here to it. Whatever, I'll automate this process later. For now, I just have to come here and click it every now and then to get my redstone. It does seem to benefit from growth acceleration, which is good. All right, whatever, I have enough. So let's, I don't remember what I needed this for anymore. There's something to do with this thing. Oh, for the conveyor belts, right. This looks trippy with all the conveyor belts in. But let's put our upgrades in here just to make it run faster. Doesn't really cost anything. I mean, it costs a tiny bit of grid power, but that's it. We can turn this on. You know what? Let's also replace actually these 3 blocks, the transparent glass too. I'm pretty sure mobs can't see through it, so letting us see where they can't see back is worth it, right? And I'm pretty sure there's no slab version. Oh, there's cover version. Whatever. Turn it on. We should see mobs spawning. Good. They spawn, they fall, and we poke them. Aha! And yeah, because they can't see us, they can't shoot us, they don't aggro, so they don't fly up. And each time we hit them, mana goes into here. So I had to move our offs, or not mana, but blood. Let's see how much blood we get off of these. They're really loud. And apparently they can see me. Meh. Anyways, let me get a sound muffler real quick. Alright, Blazes, it is time to shut up. Better. Anyways, how much blood are we getting each? Where's my sigil? In my inventory. Alright, so we have 2793, 32, so just under 300, and we don't have to, you know, pay with our own hearts. So this is a system where we can, you know, more easily at least get blood into our blood altar. All I have to do is stand here and poke them a few times. I might have to maybe move slabs around a little bit to get it so that they don't shoot me. I think maybe if I lowered the whole thing half a block, I don't know. There might be some fine tuning I can do though to pull it off. Added bonus here, we get blaze rods. Aha. Anyways, we're out of time for today, so I'll do the fine tuning off camera. But what's important is that we now have a good blood altar setup that is scalable and will allow us to, you know, continue down our blood magic adventures, I guess. But we'll come back tomorrow, and I guess we're basically as far in blood magic as we have to get for this era. So we can perhaps switch gears to astral sorcery, or I don't know. We'll figure something out. In any event, I hope you enjoyed this episode, including our nice shocker at the start. And I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.